Apple has released the first public beta for iOS 18 this week. If you're new to installing betas on your iPhone, don't worry, I've got you covered. In this video, I'll explain what the public beta is, guide you through the setup process, and highlight the top features that you should try out first. Okay, let's get into it. So, what is a beta and why should you try it out? A beta operating system is an early preview of software that Apple plans to release to the public later this year. This release usually happens in 3 stages. First, there's the developer beta, which has already started. This stage allows developers to get early access to the software to ensure that their apps are compatible with the new operating system when it launches to the public. Typically, about a month after developers get access, the public beta is released. This is the version that we're discussing today. The public beta allows a small number of iPhone users who sign up for the program to try out a more refined version of the operating system. I say a small number of users, anyone can access it, it's just that Apple knows that most people won't. These users can then provide feedback to Apple, which helps further tweak and refine the operating system before its general release in September. So, something crucial to remember when you download the public beta is that you're essentially acting as a guinea pig for Apple. You're testing the operating system and providing feedback that helps them refine the final version. Expect some bugs and things to break and your battery life to suffer. It's all part of the beta experience, but the trade-off is that you get early access to some really cool features. Okay, first things first, let's talk compatibility. If your device can run iOS 17, good news, it can also run iOS 18. So if you're currently using iOS 17, you're all set for the iOS 18 public beta. The first step is to register your account and device for the public beta program. Open Safari or your preferred browser and go to beta.apple.com. This site provides details about the Apple Beta software program and current releases. Click the blue sign up button at the bottom if you're new to the program. If you're already registered, you can click sign in, enter your Apple ID and follow the instructions to register your device. Next, on the device where you plan to install the public beta, open settings and tap your name at the top to access your Apple ID. Navigate to iCloud, then select iCloud Backup. Ensure that your current device backup is recent and up to date. My devices back up nightly when charging, but if you haven't backed up recently, tap backup now and wait for the process to complete. This step is crucial in case anything goes wrong with the public beta so that you have a backup to restore your data from. With that done, go into settings, then general, and then software update. You'll notice a new option called beta updates. Tap on this and you'll see an option to enroll your device in the public beta. Your phone will then check for a new update that you can download and install. So on the screen now, you can see a screenshot of my phone registered to the developer beta. Yours will look the same, but it will say iOS 18 public beta in the beta update section instead of developer. Follow the same process for installing the new version on your device. Press the blue install now button and follow the steps to get the new operating system installed. Keep in mind, this is going to take a while. Your iPhone will need to download a lot of data from Apple's servers and then unpack and install it. Make sure that you have a good internet connection and plenty of time where you don't need to use your phone. Before we continue, a big thanks to Vanta for sponsoring today's video. Whether you're starting or scaling your company's security program, demonstrating top-notch security practices and establishing trust is more important than ever. Vanta is a trust management platform that helps businesses of all sizes manage their risk and improve their security. With Vanta's continuous monitoring, you can know what's going on with your security right now, receive alerts when something doesn't look quite right, and the two-way task tracker integrations to keep on top of fixes. Vanta automates compliance for SOC 2, ISO 27001 and more, saving you time and money while helping you build customer trust. You get a single view across the key risk surfaces in your business and save your time going back and forth with a seamless audit process. Plus, you can streamline security reviews by automating questionnaires and demonstrating your security posture with a customer-facing trust center, all powered by Vanta AI. Over 7,000 global companies like Atlassian, Flow Health, and Quora use Vanta to manage risk and prove security in real time. And my audience gets $1,000 off Vanta via the link below or the QR code that you can see on screen. That's $1,000 off Vanta by clicking the link below or scanning this QR code. Alright, so you've got the public beta installed on your phone. At first glance, it might seem like there isn't much new to explore. Let's dive into the first things that you're going to want to try out. Oh, and just quickly, it is important to note that Apple Intelligence, which was a big highlight at WWDC this year, isn't available in any of the current operating system betas. So you won't be able to test those features just yet. We're just going to focus on the regular iOS updates. So the first thing that you're going to want to check out is the customizable home screen. Tap and hold anywhere on your home screen to enter jiggle mode. You'll notice an edit button in the upper left corner. Tap on that and choose Customize. At the bottom of the screen, you can choose between small icons, the familiar ones, or large icons where the text disappears and the icons get slightly larger. You can also switch between dark mode, light mode, or tinted mode, which lets you tint the icons in various colors. There's also an automatic option that switches between light and dark mode throughout the day. This feature has evolved significantly since the first developer beta. App developers need to adjust their icons to ensure that they look good in both tinted and dark modes, so you can expect ongoing changes over the next few months until iOS 18 officially launches in September. Also, when you enter jiggle mode, you can now place your app icons anywhere on the screen, sort of. You still have to adhere to the grid setup that's been in place since the very first iOS, but you no longer have to group all of your apps together. Oh, and a related tip, if you tap and hold on an app square for just a second, you can access associated widgets directly from the pop-up menu. So this eliminates the need to go to the Add Widget menu. It is much quicker this way. This might not seem like a big deal at first, but what Apple has essentially done is consolidate all the password-related features scattered across the Settings app into one dedicated passwords app accessible in iOS 18. What you're seeing here isn't new. It's your passwords, passkeys, verification codes, Wi-Fi usernames and passwords, security recommendations, shared password groups, and any deleted passwords. But now all of this has been brought together into one easy-to-use app conveniently located on your phone. As someone who frequently switches between iOS 17 and iOS 18 for work, I didn't initially think much of the new Passwords app, but once you get used to having a dedicated app for all your password-related needs, you really start to miss it when it's gone. You should definitely take a moment to check out the new Photos app. It's had the biggest overhaul since its initial release on the iPhone, and while opinions online have been mostly negative, this is the Photos app that we have moving forward, so it is worth getting familiar with it. The first thing that you'll notice is that the app is now split almost 50-50 top and bottom. The top half is your traditional Photos app, while the bottom half features collections and photo curations created by your phone. My personal favorite new feature is the recent days section. This feature gathers all the photos and videos taken on specific days and creates a mini collection. For example, if you were out over the weekend, you'd have one for Sunday and another for Saturday. It may not sound like a big deal, but this was missing from the previous Photos app. It makes it quick and easy to review your activities, almost like a journal. Also, under the people and pets section, you can now create custom groups. I've done this for any photos that include me, my wife, and our 2 kids. It automatically creates a dedicated album that updates itself so I can easily access photos where all 4 of us are together. There's also a trip section where your phone identifies if you've taken a large number of photos and videos in a specific place. It will assume that you've been on a trip and automatically create an album for you. Under the utility section, several new categories have been added to make finding specific images easier. You can now break down your images by categories like receipts, images with handwriting, QR codes, recently saved or recently shared images, and these options will help you stay organized and on top of your photo library. The Control Center has been completely redesigned in iOS 18. Now when you access it, you can tap and hold to enter its own version of jiggle mode. This allows you to remove specific items by tapping the minus buttons, and you can also change the number of tiles that items take up and add new controls using the Add a Control button at the bottom. There are so many more options now for you to choose from compared to iOS 17, making it really customizable. You can definitely set the Control Center up exactly how you like it now. Developers can also create their own tools for the Control Center, adding even more versatility. Also, a minor addition, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. The flashlight, or torch, or whatever you call it, has a new user interface, and you can now adjust the brightness and width of the beam using your finger. This is another relatively minor change, but it can completely transform how you use your phone. On your lock screen, you're probably familiar with the torch or flashlight and camera buttons down at the bottom. Well, in iOS 18, you can customize these. Tap and hold on your lock screen for just a second, then tap the Customize button and tap the lock screen again. You'll see minus buttons next to the torch and camera icons. tap the minus button to remove one, and a plus button will appear, allowing you to add something else. You can search through different controls and pick something more personal. For example, you might want a button to open a specific app. Tap the Open App option, choose your app, press Done, and now you have a dedicated button on your lock screen to access that app directly. So you probably already know by now that the calculator has had a massive glow up and has been added as its own dedicated app, finally on the iPad. The big new feature there is called Maths Notes or Math Notes, whatever you call it in your part of the world. It's basically a tool that allows you to use your finger on the iPhone or an Apple Pencil on the iPad to treat your device like a digital workbook where you can write sums, arithmetic, formulas, or algebra, and the app will intelligently figure out what you're writing and finish the maths for you in your own handwriting. You can even use it to add charts and play around with different variables. It's all very clever, and as someone who doesn't really use maths at all, it's something that I'm probably never going to use. But if this is something of interest to you, you should definitely spend a bit of time with the new calculator app on the iPhone. In the Messages app, you can now schedule messages to be sent later. Instead of hitting the send button, you press the plus button on the left side of the screen to access additional message options. On the second page of options, there's a new feature called Send Later. Tap on this and you can choose the specific time that you want your message to be sent. Something that people have wanted for a really long time now is the ability to add Face ID or Touch ID to specific apps, and you can now do that in iOS 18. It's known as locking an app. All you would do to enable this is tap and hold on an app square on the home screen, and you'll see an option in here called Require Face ID if you're using an iPhone with Face ID. It will say Require Touch ID if you're using an iPhone with Touch ID. Tap on this and you have two options. You can either simply require biometrics in order to open this particular app, or you can go one step further and not only require biometrics, you can also hide the app as well. If you choose to do this, the app will essentially disappear from your phone to all intents and purposes. It hasn't actually disappeared. All that's happened is it's gone into a hidden folder, which you can access by going to your app in the app library, and it's down at the bottom right. You would then tap into this, unlock it with your biometrics, and you can access your apps in there. So if there are any apps that you want to have installed on your device, but you don't want anyone else to know that you've got them installed, this is how you would do that. One thing to point out is that any widgets or alerts that are associated with that app will also disappear. So do just keep that in mind if you decide to use this function. I think that for most people, what they're going to want to do here is just make use of the ability to lock an app using Face or Touch ID. If you create a new note in the Notes app, you'll notice a paperclip icon in the menu bar above the keyboard, replacing the camera icon from iOS 17. This change introduces additional capture options. Tapping on Record Audio allows you to capture a voice memo, similar to using the Voice Memos app. Once recorded, you can tap on the audio file and then the speech icon in the bottom left to view a transcription of your recording. One thing to note, I had to change my phone's language to US English for this feature to work. It seems that this functionality is currently exclusive to US English only. So there you go. If you're interested, that's how you can access the public beta for iOS 18 and get your hands on a number of the new features a good couple of months ahead of the general release, which usually happens around the end of September. What about you? Do you plan to download the public beta of iOS 18, or are you going to wait until the general release? If you've been using it, what features are you most impressed by? What features do you think should have been included? Drop me a comment and let me know. And as ever, if you found this video useful, do please consider leaving me a like and subscribing to my channel for more content like this in the future. See you on the next video.